Morning, everyone. Welcome to Community Connections. That's usually Derek's intro. So.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I can introduce everybody at least, so. Welcome maybe I can, I don't know. Welcome everyone for coming to Community Connections. We appreciate you guys being here. We have the City of Kearney, Alex Stratman, Buffalo County, Tim Higgins, and the Kearney Public Schools, Paul Hazard. We're gonna start with Tim Higgins this morning. Again, Community Connections is sponsored by Northwestern Energy. All right, Tim.
All right, good morning. If you've ever seen the movie 48 Hours, there's a line in there that I've always wanted to use. There's going to be a new sheriff in town. So Dan Schleisner is running unopposed and will be elected in November. And Neil Miller, I think, has a house in Arizona and is going to retire. So I think he's really looking forward to it. We had probably one of the shortest meetings we've ever had yesterday. One of our speakers didn't show up, so she thought it was at 10:10, not 9:10. So we got out of there pretty quick for once. But a couple things to go over with. We approved more room on our GIS link on the website. We were running out of space, so obviously there's a little minimal cost there. We're putting out an RFP for health benefits. We're always looking for a better deal. Obviously, in this age today that rates are so high, we have 237 people that we try to take care of with insurance, and we're always looking for a better process. We're going to accept bids till April 13th. It's probably about a year process by the time it's all said and done. But we did make a stipulation that no faxes, no emails, it had to be hard copy. So we're going to kill a couple of trees, I guess. So our probation building, the 610 building, doesn't have on the north side of the building, it's just a door. So obviously in Nebraska, when you have a door on the north side, it gets a little windy and cold when you open that door. So we're building an entryway at that spot to alleviate that. And we had 2 bids on that, and imagine a very tight bid process that was within $1,000 each bid. So you don't see that very often anymore. So they must have really wanted the business. So RMV got the bid with that. MCL, you guys good on that? Oh man,
Didn't know about it. Thank you.
it was in the paper. We're proceeding with Ravenna. I'm going to Ravenna Lake today for a meeting. We're proceeding with obviously continuing to make that a nice place to camp and have recreation. We are installing sand volleyball, and we are building a pickleball court there also. So. And we're probably going to restock more fish. If you like to fish, it's a very nice lake. So we also took in gravel bids yesterday, or finalized everything. On the average, gravel is about 64 cents a yard, and we have so that's what we're paying this year, is 64 cents on an average, and we have 1,300 miles of gravel roads. So it adds up, and sometimes the gravel's too small or pea-sized or too big. I'm sure Gary runs into this. Sometimes it's very inconsistent. So we try to buy from our preferred purveyors, and we've had a lot of good luck with guys in this area wanting our business. So there's counties that don't have a sand pit close to them and cost them twice as much. So other than that, it was a really short meeting. I'll take any questions. Yeah.
Tim, you mentioned the GIS, what needed to be added?
We were out of space to continue to incorporate all the growth in Kearney.
So it'll be the same data included?
Oh yeah. Just like buying more gigs for your cell phone. We're pretty happy with the company.
Beacon?
Beacon. The other crazy, oh, we're still out of space at the law enforcement center. We are still meeting to come up with some resolutions for the future. Gary at MCL thought maybe we should go in. No, I'm just kidding. Thought going to the movie business, but that building wouldn't work. So, but we're always try to think outside the box and come up with a plan down the road sometime. But we know we are out of space, and we're just continuing to look for better options down the road. That's all I got.
All right, thank you, Tim. Paul, you said you wanted to go next.
All right. Yep, we too had a very quick meeting. We had a lot of agenda items, but they actually are all recognitions. Every month we try to do recognitions of students or teachers that have done something or been nominated or received awards, things like that. And so wrapping up the seasons that were just coming through, basketball and wrestling and dance, there was a lot of recognitions. And some of those I want to share because I'd like to share them all with you. But like as an example, our dance team just competed in state dance and they got second place again. So they went second place, first place, second place. So they're competing at a pretty high level. There's 17 of those girls. Cool that they got second, but their GPA, their combined GPA was 3.8%. 17 girls, 3.8%. That's pretty impressive. I would have definitely drugged the dancing down and I would have drugged down the GPA. So that was cool. And then we recognized our high school wrestling team, the boys wrestling team. For the second year in a row, they qualified all 14 slots. Never been done before. That we've qualified all before, but we've never done it before where every bracket or every division won a match. So we qualified all, and everybody down there at least won one match at state. I thought that was pretty cool. Then we recognized our girls wrestling program, and I was actually on the board when we approved girls wrestling, and we started it at high school, and then we did middle school, and there was these questions of, will we have enough wrestlers? Like, will girls really do this? Is the need there, and kind of the risk and reward. And the first year, I remember the best estimates we had from we went to like the Kacc. A lot of those dads were UNK wrestlers and successful wrestlers. And they were helping with Kacc, and they said, well, we think we'll have about 10 to 15 at each school. Well, we had double that. And then the next year we had more. And then this year we've got 75 middle school wrestlers. It's probably our fastest growing sport at Kearney High School by far. So our girls went down to state. We qualified 9 of 14 spots, and they were one match away from winning the state championship. They got beat by 1.5 points. So they're phenomenal. We had 2 state champions, 1 runner-up. They're doing really well. Then we recognized our wrestler. I lost where I'm at here. We recognized our bowling team. Fulton Moyer was our first bowling state champion ever. And I was told he bowled, getting into state, he bowled 2 300 games back to back. I mean, and the kid's a sophomore. So he's that's special. I think I've been bowling since I was 6, and I break 100 every now and then.
Get him on your team. Wow.
Yeah, right. I'm recruiting that guy. So then we went through a lot of the updates, the construction updates. Basically, the high school, the PAW, should be open in June of this year. So that'll be open. And again, I can't say it enough. It is not a football facility. That is not what it is. They're going to use it for high school classes. They're going to use it for dance. They're going to use it for band. I mean, on the days like today where band can't be outside, they'd be in there. So it's a huge multi-purpose turf room, but then you've got the girls wrestling room in there, and then you've got the girls dance room along with a JROTC shooting range in there. And that's the primary need, was to meet the requirements for JROTC. A quick plug for them as well. It seems like anything we start at Kearney, it takes off. And that's not the case in other in other schools, it's not. I mean, they're cutting sports, they're cutting reserve teams or JV teams, or you look down the road, they cut a varsity basketball team. In Kearney, it's the exact opposite. So when we started JROTC, they said, hey, we want I can't remember what it was, 100 or 110 kids. You probably know better than me. 150. Our first year, we had like 12 to 15. This year, we're at 60 some. I mean, and just the trajectory of that is, I mean, it's crazy to me how fast kids jump onto it. So that's on schedule. And then Central Elementary, we had to add a secured entrance to there. Prior, you could just walk into Central Elementary and bebop around the school without going through any secured entrance. I mean, everything was unlocked. Today's day and age, we all know that's probably not a good scenario. And then Cottonwood is on schedule to be completed in July of 2026 as well. So Cottonwood will be opening next year, and we're super excited about that, what that'll do for everybody. We had a couple legislative updates, and I want to share just 3 of them with you. I won't bore you with all of them that the school follows. I'm sure there's a lot more than this, but they updated the new shortage on the budget. Anybody see what the new shortage was on the budget? $626 million is the estimated shortfall. There's an LB 765 that we're really watching, and I think a lot of you would find interesting. That would require 50.1% of registered voters to approve or turn down a bond. So that means you would have to have 50.1% turnout to vote on a bond. And I don't know if you guys follow turnouts on voting. I don't know that we've probably ever had 50% turnout. So
35.
That's interesting to me, and something we would follow. And then there's a property tax one in there, LB 1219, that is going to limit growth to 2% plus your real growth. That seems to maybe be getting a little bit of wheels, and we'll be interested to see what happens with that. And then the last thing is we approved a lot of resignations and a lot of new hires. Again, for everybody, like I didn't know this till I got involved in the school. Now's the time that everybody resigns to take on new endeavors, or they maybe they're getting out of the school system completely, or they went to a new place, a new school, or what have you. But most of the times we incentivize teachers and administration. We incentivize them to do it before, I think it's March 1st, March 15th. And the reason why is because then we're not just, everybody's taking their job somewhere else, and now we're left with the 2 applicants that nobody's hired yet. Like we want to have a first pick. So this is just the time of the year that we do that. So we approved maybe 8 to 10 resignations and retirements, to include Mr. Johnson at Sunrise. He's retiring. He did some math and thought he had another year, but he was blessed to understand he didn't have another year. So I told him to buy a lottery ticket, because that doesn't usually work that way. And then on our new hires, the last thing is super cool. Again, we're starting to see those KTOM students from Kearney Teachers of Tomorrow at Kearney UNK. They're starting to come through. And so we hired another KTOM hire came through. So we don't really have very many positions open in Kearney right now. And that will hopefully continue to be the trend, that we don't have a problem filling our positions. So we say that proudly, and it's pretty good testament to Kearney Public Schools. Does anybody have any questions on KPS? That was a pretty sweet, short meeting. No public comment. That's always welcome.
Book burners.
Nothing. All right. Well, thank you guys.
Thank you, Paul. Alex, take the lead. And we'll hear from you.
Sure. Just a couple of things. Last night we had our most recent meeting, and we recognized Stan Dart for his role on the Planning Commission. He served 34 years on the Planning Commission. He is retiring from the Planning Commission, and so we presented him with a plaque last night and thanked him for his service, including his recent service as chair. If you've never been involved with the Planning Commission, anything that's rezoned or anything that's built goes to the Planning Commission before it goes to the City Council. And so we receive their minutes and all the questions and all the information that's presented to the Planning Commission before it gets to the City Council. And it makes our job a lot easier when it comes to projects being vetted, questions being asked. And so really appreciate the work of the Planning Commission and the work that Stan's put into it. Last night, we also had a resolution for the Nebraska Senior Games. Registration will open on May 1st. And so if you compete in Kearney, it's a national qualifying event for anyone 50 and above can compete in the Senior Games. So Kearney will host that again. And anyway, so we're excited about that. It takes about 75 to 80 part-time parks people to put that event on. And so something that we look forward to hosting. Just a couple of logistics issues. Chicago flights return on April 30th. You can book those. Our employments hover around 80%. They were 79% in January, 81% in February. So our flights are really looking strong. And so our contract with SkyWest will be for 18 months for the Chicago flights, and then we'll reevaluate. We're looking at a potential split bid with SkyWest to have one flight for Denver, one flight for Chicago as our essential air service, and then we would pay for the other flight to Denver rather than paying for the flight to Chicago. Right now, our guarantee with SkyWest for the Chicago flight is $2.4 million for their profit cap, and I think that we'll hit that. But that just means that if they don't hit that 2.4 million mark, the city has to subsidize the rest of it. But based upon the bookings and what we're looking at right now, I think that it's a strong market for the Chicago flights. People have asked us for it, and so we hope that the flight times line up for people. We will have a new assistant city manager. We've hired the superintendent from Elm Creek. She will start on July 1st at the end of the school year, and she'll replace Brad, who went off to Lincoln and became a lobbyist, but we will have a new assistant city manager in place on July 1st. The new fire station is set to break ground in April. So we've been fortunate to have a light winter, so the ground has been cleared, and we're looking forward to that. The fire department will have a little museum, a mini museum, and have some artifacts from their past included in that. I think the building is going to be on budget. The challenge is the $15 million that we allocated for that included a fire truck, and fire trucks have doubled in 5 years. What was a $1.2 million fire truck 5 years ago is now a $2.5 million fire truck and takes 4 years to build. But it'll be a 5-bay fire truck. We'll have a new truck up there. And then we also received a very generous donation from the Ron Blessing estate to add a 5th bay to that. So added a little bit to the project. We're still looking at about $15 million, but that's for the building and the truck, and that'll be up on 48th and Avenue. And that's something that the city's needed for probably 12, 13 years, and we've finally been able to fit it into the budget and make the numbers work. So that's coming. The most important thing I think we've done in the last month is on the primary ballots on May 12th, the Good Life District will be on the ballot. And I think there's some confusion that if it doesn't pass, which of course we want it to pass, but there's some confusion that if it doesn't pass, we won't be able to take advantage of it. So the Good Life District opens up the options for the city to be able to use the funding for different infrastructure. If it doesn't pass, we will only be able to use it for the necessary infrastructure: sewer, water, wastewater, stormwater, and so and lighting. And so if it's passed, it allows for landscaping, some of the other different infrastructure that the city's not normally able to contribute to, and it opens up the half of the state's sales tax comes back to the city, comes back to the builder. The builder currently has $220 million obligated to this area of the community. So it's very transformational. You'll start seeing those projects moving forward. You're already seeing the projects move forward now down here, but May 12th is really a big day. We wanted to put it on a regular ballot. The city has a frequently asked questions page on the city's website. So if you just go to cityofkearney.org, you can look at what we're doing, or what the city is doing in the proposal and what we're looking at doing. in the future for the Good Life District. But May 12th, that'll be on the ballot. It's important to the council that we not have a special election for that we give people the right information and that we put that on the ballot. That's really about it for major issues at the city, but there's a lot. And as always, happy to take any questions if anybody has any questions.
Hey, Alex, obviously the Good Life District is going to be awesome. It's great for South Kearney, but is there any strategic plans for anything up north sometime?
As far as what the city's going to do,
Like improvement of roads or more subdivisions,
always looking at ways to increase it in
retail?
we're always looking at ways to enhance the city up north. Certainly, I think the challenge is people forget it's a 10-minute drive across the community. When you look at Bellevue and Gretna, to get from Bellevue to Gretna, which both have Good Life Districts, it's really about an hour.
Yeah.
And I think that it's a misconception that the city is going to ignore the northern part of town at the expense of the southern part of town. As far as concrete plans to go up north, we've got some projects that are going up there that haven't really materialized yet, that we're not really allowed to share publicly. But there are some things that we're working on up north. But we continue to support, I think, the entire community, the entire business district in Kearney, as opposed to this is not at the expense of any one district in town or downtown. We want a thriving downtown. We want a thriving northern business district, but this is really an added benefit. I mean, this is one of 5 in the state. There will never be another Good Life District, and Kearney has the 5th one. And if you look at what Grand Island's been able to do with theirs and the renovation of the Conestoga Mall, you look at some of the things that West Omaha and not Papillion, because Papillion didn't get one, but if you look at Gretna and Bellevue, what they've been able to do, I really think that it's going to be a feather in the cap for Kearney to have one. But long answer to a short question, yes, we are continuing to look at ways that we can help North Kearney and keep the business community thriving. But I'm hopeful that it's what a problem to have, though. It's a 10-minute drive from north part of town to south part of town. And I think that sometimes people forget that we're fortunate enough to live in a community that has so many amenities and so many things, and yet you can still get across town in 10 minutes. Maybe longer if you take Second Avenue.
Thank you.
All right, any questions for Alex? All right,
Another record meeting.
quick meeting. Okay, well, thank you everybody for coming to Community Connections. We appreciate it. Thank you everyone in the front of the room for speaking. Again, this is sponsored by Northwestern Energy, and we'll see you next month.
Thank you.
Thank you.